This is a garage wall. If it's an exterior wall, if you get the siding off, it's the same process. We're going to cut the OSB plywood back and see what's underneath. This thing's froze up. There's no shut off for it, and it doesn't work, so it's got to come out. I can see the sill plate there, 1.5 inches, and then rim joist or joist sits on top of that, probably about 9 inches, 2x10, I'm guessing. So we'll have to get the plywood off first. In the basement, it's finished bathroom space. There's no way to get to this thing, so I pretty much have to do it from the outside or tear up the bathroom. I found the unfinished space downstairs. They are 2x10 floor joists, so I'm dealing with about 10 inches there. I'm going to set my saw for 1/2 inch and cut through the plywood first because I want to find out where the joist cavity is. Overcut the plywood just a little bit so I don't have to wrestle with them corners, and then just get a pry bar behind there and pop that plywood off, and we can see behind there and see if it's a see where the floor joists are. You could tell, you'd be able to see the nails in the rim joist after we get this off. It looks like it's pretty much centered in that joist cavity. So what I'm going to do is cut that rim joist out from there down to the bottom. There's your subfloor. That 3/4 plywood is your subfloor. The walls are above that. I'm going to cut that whole chunk of wood out of there, down to the bottom, and then chisel it out. I'm going to cut it rough, basically where the plywood got cut. That's where I'm going to cut it on both sides. So what I'll do is I'll set my saw for 2 inches because my saw is going to be sitting on the plywood. A little over 2 inches. You don't want to try hacking through this all at once. Just take your time so you're not cut through wires and all kinds of crap. Just plunge your saw in, and I ran it down into the sill plate there to overcut it a little bit just to make sure it'll come out of there. So I'll hit it with a hammer and see if it'll break right there. If it doesn't break, which this one doesn't look like it's going to, I'll take a chisel or something sharp and hit it long ways on the grain there, and that wood should split just like firewood. And then I kind of took my board and leaned it up against that plywood to give it something to hit against, and then just drive a chisel in, aim for that pipe, and split the wood off of there so you can get to that pipe. I didn't get it the first time. I didn't get it the second time either. This would be the second time. Getting closer. There's a knot right there. It's still kind of hanging on. So the third time, I got it down to where I could get the rest of that chunk of wood off of there, and then get to pull that insulation out, see what's in there. Real curious to see how far back that goes. There's the light above the tub. I don't know if you can see back there. There's the ceiling to the bathroom, the drywall, the light fixture, and then way back there's a shut-off up in the ceiling that you can't get to. So I'm going to cut this pipe off right there and put a cap on it, and then I'll put a strap on that floor joist there, keep it from flopping around. So yeah, take my little close pipe cutter there for tight spaces. Those things are great. They're about $8 maybe. You just spin it, pop that pipe off, and then clean any burrs. Use a little bit of sandpaper to clean that off real good. I'm just going to use a shark bite cap and slide on there because I don't feel like trying to get my torch and solder and everything else in there. I got a towel in there to catch any water that might have dripped out, but there you can see the cap, and I got a strap on there. Turn the water back on, check for leaks. And then I'm going to put these 2x4 blocks in on either side against the floor joists. Basically just nailer blocks, so when I put my rim back in, I won't hit it it won't go too far. It can only go that far. So put a couple screws in each side of that, and then put the insulation back in. And I'm going to run a big fat bead of caulk around the inside of that edge there, and squish my block in there. That'll seal it up, any wind or bugs or anything like that. I had to trim this block height-wise to fit a little tighter. And just tap it in there until you hit your 2x4 blocks. And then I'll get a couple screws on either side to hold it in place. It's not going to go anywhere. And then after that, we'll just put the plywood that I cut off. I'm just going to put that back on. Like I said, it's inside a garage, so if you got siding, you can put your siding back on. And yeah, I hope that helps. So good luck.